Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park for the latest round in the Operation Motorsport eMotorsport iRacing series here this season. The rolling hills of Mosport playing host to another sprint round of our championship. 45 minutes worth of a race coming up here tonight for our last race here at Mosport TV in just a couple of weeks' time on our Operation Motorsport schedule this season. So very much looking forward to it. Myself, Ian O'Leary, taking you through the action. Sadly, no Jeremy Scott alongside me tonight. Romeo Augustin Cisneros behind the cameras as always. Here are our races this season. As I mentioned, 2 weeks' time is the last broadcasted race here, the last sprint race. And that comes from Road America and round 10 in exactly 2 weeks' time. There is further racing after that, though. At Daytona, the weekend of that Road America race, and Spa a few weeks after that to round off the season as a whole in season 12. It's been a great journey since the middle of February where we started at Road Atlanta. Feels like only a few weeks ago in all honesty, but already we're getting towards the business end of the season with just 2 races for us still to go. I'll just talk you through the driver categories in a moment and who is where. Because it is a big feature of this series, as always, the Operation Motorsport series, the Operation Motorsport Championship. But in terms of car classes, I can tell you that we are down to just the 3. The LMP2 class not here today either, ahead of the Mosport round. In terms of driver classes, though, this is all still in place. So let me just tell you about the classes and how they're identified. First of all, on the green on the left-hand side, you'll see the beneficiary class. That's anyone who's enrolled as an Operation Motorsport beneficiary, but is not part of the Pro class. That is for the Pro Ben class classification. That there in purple. That's for anyone who's a beneficiary, as you can see above, but also who is satisfying the Pro class regulations down below. I'll get to those in a moment. An open class driver is any serving military member or veteran not enrolled as an Operation Motorsport beneficiary, any staff member, volunteer or supporter of Operation Motorsport, or other participants on a case-by-case basis as determined by the eMotorsports manager. For those pro drivers, it is a competition license holder of pastoral presence for IMSA, SRO, FEL or other sanctioning body of a similar grade, iRacing A-class road license, an iRating of 1900 or higher, and a safety rating of 3.99 or higher as well. That's for a pro class driver in the blue. If they're a beneficiary as well as satisfying those requirements, they'll be in the purple in the left-hand side. We do try and keep across all of them here at Mosport TV, of course, the Operation Motorsport series. We'll keep you across all 3 categories of car as well. It's 38 degrees Celsius down on the racetrack. We're racing in the middle of July, so a little bit advanced from today's date, but that's going to make things very, very tricky here today, especially in these 992s, which are probably of the 3 car classes can get loose easiest perhaps, but that doesn't mean they don't have to warm up the tyres. Here's Chris Glandon on the way down towards turn 4 doing exactly that, weaving around from left to right to get the tyre temperature in. Now, it is a 15-minute session, but don't expect to see them out for the whole time. In fact, this is going to be quite a quick session, although we've had quite a lot of those recently actually. It's just 3 laps that they get, and so obviously the outlap not counting as one of those, but when the lap time is not even a minute and a half, even in one of these cars, you understand that it is a very, very short session. Here's Peter Hitzman. A lot more flamboyant liveries in the grid. I do like this Mercedes, seen every couple of weeks here, the 192. Currently working his way into the final turn to start a lap. And here's Max Schmummerman, who has had a brilliant season in the LMP2s. Now the class is no longer part of this series. We haven't seen him go yet, but I don't believe he was at VIR anyway. But he is here tonight, thankfully, in the 992 category, which is great to see. 992 category, by the way, was won by Tyler Goulet last time out by just over 3 seconds in the end. There's Carl Shelton going over the line in the Mustang. The Apex Optional Racing Team, which is quite a good name. Maybe being a bit harsh on himself, Carl Shelton. but there you go. Last week's winner, by the way, or last round's winner rather, in GT4 was Zach Merrill. A great race in GT4 last time out. Zach Merrill, Andrew Cooper, Tyler Manning and Nicholas Batista, all the four who got to the end on the lead lap, all of them competing at the front and challenging for the race lead very realistically at different points in the day. It's very, very impressive and entertaining watch last week. Last round, sorry. Got to get last week out of my head. GT3 times coming in, and in fact, times from all of these classes are going to be coming in. Jonathan Labby, the first of them, a 1:17.0. You'll notice the driver class is a bit more scattered through the car classes than they were before. Mitchell Opatic is going to the top. Oh, that's a new driver. I think he's a pro driver by the looks of that. We'll just get him assigned properly to the pro category. In the 992s, Matt Smugman has gone fastest in the pro category, over a second in front of Louis Rios, which is quite a brilliant time. Carl Shelton, meantime, comes up to the line, and it looks like, hey, it's a 1:24. That is a good lap time from Carl Shelton. Beats out Cooper and Batista so far. There's Tyler Manning, who hasn't got a lap yet. Whether that was his out lap or whether he invalidated his lap time that he just completed there. Have to find out. You'd imagine that came in pretty nimble around here, and a good car to have, perhaps, at this venue. Moss corner, that's where we're going to see a lot of the action tonight. It always is the case in sports cars. Chris Glander moves up to third in 992.2. So I think Mitchell Opatic has actually improved his time again as well, and he moves further away with a 15.9. What's Tyler Manning going to do then? Top of your screen. First lap time should be... Oh, he had to try hard at the final turn there to keep it on the racetrack, and he's rewarded with the fastest time. Carl Shelton did go a bit quicker actually himself, but not quick enough. Tyler Manning moves on to the provisional GT4 pole. Don't forget, we don't split the classes in this series. The whole field, now that it's just effectively just GT cars, the whole field makes its way to the start-finish line together. Creates quite a spectacle as we get underway, that's for sure. Peter Hitzman yet to get onto the board yet for this session. On board with him on the way up the hill, a gentle hill admittedly, towards turn 8, the end of the Mario Andretti straightaway. Quite sharply on the brakes there. I want to let that roll a bit really. These 3 turns just slowly getting slower really as you go through, then getting on the brakes for the final part and over the line. See if Hitzman's time counts this time. It's his last time, so yeah, it does count this time. 5th place on the board. I'll go through some of the GT3 drivers in the field tonight. Mitchell Opatic currently looking like it's going to be pole. Jason McSparron here, the beneficiaries in 7th place, just rolling towards the pit lane after his lap times. To look at one of the 992.2s, and Elias Roman, a real challenger to Matt Smugman over the course of the LMP2 races. Roman was 3rd at VIR in the 992s. Oh, bouncing over the curves a bit there. That wasn't quite textbook, that final turn, but the rest of the lap, well, no, not quite as quick as Smugman. He stays 2nd. Here's Damien Castro. And that time is 8th position. He moves up to past Casey Sobel. So a good entry in GT3 here tonight. We follow Castro as he's one of the final drivers to actually complete his lap times here. As I mentioned earlier, this lap time being so short means that everybody gets through their allocated times rather quickly. To the end of the Marion Andretti straight and in towards turn 8. That's a bit more committed. Oh, a little bit wide. Got to bring it back for turn 9. And then back to the left-hand side in time for the final turn. Try not to hit that curb quite so hard. Damien Castro comes to the line. Is this an improvement again, or is this just continuing to lap for a bit of practice? It might be the latter now. There's no limitation on the amount of laps that you can do. Only in the amount that will count towards your qualifying time. So Castro can carry on and use this effectively as a bit of a warm-up session before the race gets underway. As always in this series, 45 minutes in length, 1 pit stop required from all the drivers, and Castro drops it on the exit, smacks into the wall. There you have it. That's the end of his session, I would have thought, as he drops it on the exit of Moss Corner. Let's look from the air across the rolling hills in Ontario, Canada. To place this geographically for you, we're just northeast of Toronto, not far away actually. I don't know how long it would be to drive to the centre, but not that far, I wouldn't imagine. Just above the border with the US. It's a spectacular place to race and has hosted so many top racing series around the world in years gone past, not least Formula One, which really made its home here. The Canadian Grand Prix was here between 1961 and 1977, with exceptions of 68 and 75. And that's a 17-year stint here. So we have a look on board with the fastest lap time of the day, of the session. And it's Mitchell Oppeting in his first Season 12 appearance in the Operation Motorsport League. He's just turning in towards turn 3, Quebec Corner, as it's named. And we're going to get cut off from that because the session has advanced and we're going to get to the race. So let's have a look at the starting grid. We'll have plenty of time to do so as they start on their pole lap, on their formation lap rather. And we'll do it by class as well, as opposed to overall. But obviously the driver classes will be mixed up. Mitchell Oppeting will be on the pole. It's a 1:15.7 from him, half a second quicker than Jonathan Lavey, and over a second quicker than Scott Andrews. A great lap time from Oppeting. Richard Davenport then is fourth, ahead of Nolan Uke and Chance Sheffield, who is maybe a bit further down than we're used to seeing him. But Jason McSparren, Damien Castro and Casey Sobel round out the 9 GT3s. In the 992.2s, they didn't go quite as quickly, but Mats Mumman continues to beat out his competitors. Elias Roman, who was trailing him in the LMP2s, trails him here as well. Justin Bessett and Zachary Paish then within a second of Smugman as well. Chris Glandon and Tanner Masters on row 3 in front of Louis Rios and Jacob Little to round out the 8 in 992. And just 5 in GT4 today, much like 2 weeks ago. Tyler Manning, Kyle Shelton, Nicholas Bautista, Andrew Cooper and Peter Hitzman all in the field again. So just over 20 of them in the field as a whole. We'll see from the air here as they actually start to get gridded up just who is mixed in with who, but it does seem that the GT3s have a bigger advantage here than they have at pretty much any other circuit we've been to on the sprint calendar this season. Normally, it's quite a battle between the GT3 leader and the 992 leader as to who's going to win the overall race. We did have a decent fight with that last week, but or last round, as I should say. But this week it doesn't look like we're going to get one at all. Because where is Smugman here? We scan through the field. He's not in the first 3 rows. Let's look back further and further. There he is. So I think he's starting in 8th place overall. Or is it 7th? Sorry, on the inside there. I think it's 7th place he's starting, but say normally we'd see a bit of a mixed up field, and there will be some slower GT3s mixed in with him, but there will not be too many. You wouldn't have thought that will be interrupting him, and indeed the rest of the field. As I was saying, though, 45 minutes here. The pit stop for everybody required. Fuel restrictions now make sure of that. Some changes brought into the series after the early rounds mean that the pit stops are much more likely to be, unless there's an error where you take tyres by accident or something. They're very likely to be pretty uniform across the board now. So look out for that in the course of the middle part of this race. Good evening to everybody watching on as well. Something called Turbo Snow sitting this one out and getting ready for Laguna Seca. We're getting some rest for Laguna. I presume that's going to the IMSA race this weekend. It's just going thick and fast in IMSA at the moment. Every 2 weeks, which is exactly what we have here as well. As I say, we'll be live with that final sprint race of the season in the next 2 weeks here on Mosport TV. Let's look at the GT4s. They're occupying the back 5 places in this field, as you'd expect. It should maintain that way, but off the start initially, it can get very difficult for them. Let's see how we go here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park as we get set for the penultimate sprint round in the Operation Motorsport eMotorsport iRacing League. It's GT3s all over the front here tonight as we've got liftoff from Mosport. The green flag underway for 45 minutes of racing. And Mitchell Obertik with his first race of the season, first pole and first race lead as well, in front of Jonathan Labby. And then a side-by-side battle for 3rd place going on behind Scott Andrews and Nolan Uke, who drops back. Davenport follows through actually, and Uke loses 2 places. Chance Sheffield next in line. Then you get to the 992s and Matt Smugman, who's managed to hold on to his lead early on here. You can already see the sort of gap that the GT3s are getting as well. It's these higher, medium to high speed corners, these longer straights where, well, not so much the straights, but definitely the higher speed corners, the medium to high speed corners, that are really suiting these GT3s in comparison to the Cup cars. Battle for the lead here with Labby. Now, does he have to strike early? Because Obertik was very fast in qualifying. He doesn't quite feel the need to strike right now on the way towards turn 8. Would have come from a long way back. Oh, Roman feels the need though. And he might be right, given the way this season's gone. It's time to take the challenge to Matt Smugman. Right on the outside through the second part. Gives him the inside of the final turn. And he's got it. But Smugman cuts back. He's on the... Oh, and a spin in the background meantime. A big crash in the background. Smugman gets back on the inside and he retakes that lead in 992. Roman's still not done. Over the top of the hill, super tight over there. Chance Sheffield's off in front of them. McSparren is getting super close behind them, but Roman finally completes the pass. Takes him not far off half a lap, but goodness, it was worth it in the end. A wonderful battle between the two. And it all stemmed from the long straight towards turn 8. Let's have a replay of the crash behind, by the way. It's Demi Castro who's gone round. No contact. Just a slide and a spin. Coming out of the final turn. Dear, the flash of the lights as well from those coming past. Tyler Manning leading the GT4s. And Shelton Batista, Cooper Hitzman, all trailing him. Oh, Smotherman's back again. And Roman is going to find this difficult to get free, it looks like. As he brakes late, well, that might be too late. Oh no, very nicely done. He pulls it back in time. He slides though. He gathers it up. Smotherman forced to the outside again for turn 3. He'll do another switchback. McSparren is now being slowed down dramatically by this, you'd say. Here comes Smotherman though. Oh, round the outside. That's a long way, but he stayed there. Oh my goodness. You don't see that too often. Round the outside of turn 4. Smotherman gets the inside for Moss corner and he's back into the lead. This extraordinary fight doesn't know when to end. Roman might well come back again here. Smotherman knows it too. He's going to be forced to the outside this time, Roman. Oh, and he's managing it as well. Look how close they're getting in towards turn 9. Smotherman holding the inside though through turn 8 and the final turn. He can't quite close the door though. Roman gets a better exit onto the front straight. And it's not just McSparren now, by the way, it's the whole field behind these two that are getting slowed down. Everyone apart from the top 5 overall. There goes McSparren. Now then. Oh, Smotherman dived by one of the GT3s and Roman gets a reprieve. Smotherman there. Dive by McSparren, and you can see why, because the Mustang's so much faster at this part of the racetrack. The dive to turn 2 is really on edge for the 992s, but the GT3's much more pinned to the ground. Now then, how hard does Roman try and hold McSparren behind him? Because he is acting as a buffer right now to Smotherman, and the only reason McSparren got past Smotherman, of course, was because of the fight that was happening. And there is going to be no fight with Elias Roman unless Smotherman's ahead of McSparren, so how's this going to work? McSparren is faster through the high-speed corners, as you can see. So fast, these GT3s nowadays. Downforce not dissimilar to a, not even that much of an older prototype. See the corner where they really make up the difference there, down the hill, turn 2. But the 992s are faster in a straight line, and that's difficult to overcome. Here comes McSparren though, he might well do it now. Nope, not alongside. Can't do what Smotherman did and go around the outside of 4, inside of 5. It was a great overtake, although it was short-lived. And now you see the exit off Moss corner where it gets technical, comes down to more driver skill. Smotherman closes, then he gets the slip shame of the Mustang. But how's he ever going to get past when McSparren's got such great downforce coming into turn 8? Could be reaching a bit of a stalemate here. What it is allowing though is these two to get further away from the rest of the 992 field. Oh no, Roman's off! Elias Roman straight on at the final turn. And he not only loses the lead, he loses the top 4. He's down to 5th place now. That's Chance Sheffield just behind after his issue early on. We'll see whether Sheffield makes a dive here. Probably needs to, doesn't. Oh, he grabs a lot of the grass towards the final turn. Perhaps distracted and with one eye in the mirror. Oh, what a golden opportunity to win this race. Thrown away there from Elias Roman. That's a real shame. Meantime, Richard Davenport, Nolan Uke. Stay as they are down the backstretch towards turn 8 again. So these are the guys that effectively freed by not being stuck behind Spudman and Roman by fighting earlier on. They will not be too far away from traffic though, and that was slightly wide from Davenport. Oh, Uke with a much better XTR for turn 3. Davenport showing which line he'd rather. Oh, he wants the racing line. Well, that was dangerous, and well, dangerous for Davenport, I suppose, more than anybody. So fair enough if he wants to take that risk. But he could have crossed the nose of that Porsche there with full commitment. He wasn't going to stay alongside, and in the end he was right. Meantime, Manning and Shelton go side by side and change positions, and the GT4 class lead is up for grabs as well. I think it might be a bit of connection trouble actually for Manning. She's flipping the order every now and again. In the background though, they're definitely flipping the order naturally. Batista and Cooper side by side for 3rd position. Down the hill, Batista with the inside will not get the place. He bounces over that curb, and Andrew Cooper keeps the 3rd place rather with that outside run. Shelton closes in over the top there into Tyler Manning. Closes in close. It's by far the closest battle for the lead we've got in this race at the moment, in terms of a class win anyway. Surprising really, based on what we saw in qualifying. Goodness me, look at this first second in 9.92. Elias Roman's caught up to this, but Bessett and Bache are half a second here. You maybe wonder where Matt Smudman is. Well, he's 4.5 seconds up the road. Here comes Roman, not far from Zachary Bache towards turn 3 if he wants to have a move. Nope. Oh, off in the background. That might have been Chance Sheffield again. Looked like a McLaren that was wide out of turn 2 and dropping behind some Porsches again. Unfortunately, that's happened a couple of times for Chance Sheffield now. Three-way battle for 3rd in GT4, by the way. There's a lot going on this race at the moment. Batista and Cooper side by side as well. Here they are. Not quite side by side anymore. Peter Hitzman is caught as well. And here comes the leader. Watch out. Oh, he doesn't dive towards turn 1, in fact. Patience from Chalopatic. Now gets to the outside line. Uses the downforce through turn 2, and look at that. Labby dives down the inside though, gets a much better run through the traffic, and Shelton uses that traffic, Cooper uses that traffic rather, and off Batista. It was a chain reaction. Cooper tried to use the traffic to his advantage. Jonathan Labby didn't want to be waiting around behind any GT4 battle, and there was a domino effect with the last one to fall, Nicholas Batista, who ends up going off wide, and now he's rattled and off through Moss corner as well. See what happened here in a bit more detail. Oh dear, that's not really a gap for Labby, I'm afraid. I don't think so anyway. Cooper had to try and accommodate that, even though he really shouldn't have had to. And in the end, the chain reaction leads to Nicholas Batista falling. Labby has closed up to Optic though. The aggression, I would say in that particular instance, over-aggression. I mean, the way he negotiated turn 2 was very nice, clean, and it was beneficial as well. He got a lot closer, but that wasn't quite as good. Come again around the outside of turn 2 this time for Labby, inside for 3. Optic already one step ahead though. That's the problem you've got when you get a chaser like this. You're always just that one step behind. Battle for second in 992, still not resolved. Although Elias Roman is past Bessett now. Tanner Masters and Louis Rios fighting for 5th as well. 992. So much going on in this race. There they are. Down the hill side by side. Louis Rios stays in front. And in front of Chance Sheffield there as well. That is 4th position, although he is a GT3. So not in the same class, as it were. See the difference in terms of the car speed and where these two categories make their speed in this series. This high-speed turn here, and Sheffield just racing up to the back of Masters. Having lost a bit of time with the straight line speed there. Such an interesting dynamic nowadays. Gone are the days where the Porsche Cup cars are significantly slower than the GT3s. They are, around some racetracks, absolutely competitive. Roman gets past Pace meantime for second. It's hard to know where to look. Here comes Sheffield on Masters, who feels the need to defend towards turn 2. The next 992 behind them, by the way, is running in 7th place, and that's Chris Glandon, as Sheffield dives in front of Masters. He's having that place overall, and he's got it. Masters slowed by that, and here comes Glandon. He can't go around the outside there, though. And on the brakes, Sheffield nearly hits Louis Rios. Now he's going to get a better exit out of Moss corner, but not the straight line speed. He'll have to sit in that toe all the way up the long straight. He's second again, 992. I thought these guys had already passed the GT4s actually, but clearly not. There is... oh, that's only 3rd and 4th as well, so sorry, they've got a bit further to go actually in this. They'd only have to lap them twice, so shouldn't be a massive factor in this race, but nevertheless. See now it can affect things with Jonathan Labby earlier, of course. Well, take your pick for battles at the moment. Roman finally back to second in 992, but still a fight for 3rd between Baist and Bessett. And for 3rd in GT3 as well. It is Scott Andrews in front of Nolan Uke. Last spot on the podium. Baist and Bessett side by side at the top of your screen. Nose to tail on the bottom. Roman gets clear, we look back to Bass and Bessett. Top 4 all pro class drivers, by the way, in 992. Top 2 in GT3 pro class. Jacob Little is also a little bit further down, part of the pros. Side by side there briefly for third overall. Scott Andrews keeps the place, for now anyway. Only 10 seconds off Mitchell Oppetic as well, which is not that big of a gap really. Chris Glandon and Tanner Masters side by side again. The fight for 5th in 992 reignited. Although it's split apart now, I think there might have been an incident there for Glandon. He's way off where he was before. We'll have a look back for that in a minute. But Louis Rios now comfortably 5th. Masters over a second behind him, and Glandon nearly 3 seconds behind him. Oh dear, and it's not over back here. Just as Chris Glandon had gone off there, a bit of over-excitement, I think, from one of those GT3s. Might be Castro, that. Just going off a little bit through Moss corner. Well, that's not the main one. Well, oh dear, that was close, wasn't it? Just as we cut to Nolan Yuki, was having a go at turn 2. Couldn't quite get down the inside of Scott Andrews, although he very nearly managed it. Here's trouble for Jacob Little earlier on. Down to Moss corner. Brakes a little bit too late. And, oh sorry, no, he clips the inside curb at Moss corner. And then is a bit lucky not to get wedged and beached on that curve. Oh no! This is a big crash for Justin Bessett. We've also seen Chris Glandon in the last couple of months, by the way. But Justin Bessett hits the wall hard here. It's a miscommunication. Oh no, he's trying to split the gap there. He's trying to create a 3-wide moment. And a corner that is quite dangerous, 2 wide. And on your own. And Bessett there suffers the consequences. He hits the wall hard on the left-hand side. There's not much space until you get there. And he will have a lot of damage to repair, unfortunately. That is a big shame. Here comes Nolan Yuke. Side by side. Oh, and he's a little bit in the grass. He very nearly had that. You do have to commit on the outside quite wide. And Yuke was wide enough, but just in the end, a fraction too wide. Clip the grass. And that's when it's bad news, I'm afraid. So he drops back behind Andrews again, but my goodness, that was an effort. His most convincing, really, of the 20 minutes of this race so far. So the slipstream again and tries to create another opportunity here. Not quite close enough. The slipstream not powerful enough up the hill there, really. You need a much better run out of Moss corner. It's not one of those circuits where the draft can just, well, not in these cars anyway. The draft can't carry you the whole way. Another look down the inside this time at turn 2, but surely if he was close enough there, Scott Andrews wouldn't be allowing him to the inside line. Be protecting it himself. Maybe he can work a way down there. Further down in this class, by the way, Richard Davenport's come into the pit lane in GT3. As we get to the halfway mark, we're going to start to see a lot more pit stops featuring. Here comes Yuke, though. Much closer this time. I get the feeling Scott Andrews is living on borrowed time a little bit here. Oh dear, Davenport's got a black flag indeed. We'll get to that in a moment. Here comes Nolan Nuke to the inside. He breaks a bit early. Scott Andrews rips around the outside. And he holds on again. Quite comfortably this time. Now that's a better exit. Inside for turn 1, only gives you the outside for turn 2, so he might not want to be there. Oh, that's so close! And there might have been contact. Oh, they got away with it if there was. Scott Andrews holding on to third, but not convincingly at the moment. Meantime, Tyler Manning has had big trouble here. He's dropping down the field very quickly. Now, can we see any damage to that Porsche? Not really, to be honest. But why has he suddenly dropped so far down? Kyle Shelton comes straight in as well, as does Manning. I wonder whether those two have come together. You and I able to get close enough there to Scott Andrews. This is what happened. Might not have been it coming together. Oh, it's a lap car that hits. Shelton does go into the back of the BMW. It's Damien Castro who actually loses his boot lid as a result. And he's got damage on the front end as well. And Shelton's got pretty big damage as well. Now, the damage to Manning is minimal. However, the time loss was very large indeed. I think it dropped him to 4th place at least. Yeah, it's 4th place. Shelton should have been able to use a fast repair there to get back in the game. They're waiting for Cooper and Hitzman to come in, but it remains to be seen how that incident is going to affect the field as a whole. Castro left it a lap longer before he decided the damage was bad enough to come into the pit lane. It's about the time he should be coming in anyway, so doesn't throw off their strategy too much. That's Castro getting his repairs. Also joining him on pit lane. Is that Davenport again? It is. It's the second stop for Richard Davenport. Oh, he did. Oh, he got a black flag. Excuse me. He did get a black flag from his first stop, so that will be why. Here comes Uke, looking and firing into the rear of Scott Andrews and spins him around. He's going to wait. He pulls off the racetrack actually to wait as well. Andrews slightly dangerously pulls across the racetrack, but thankfully there's nobody coming. And they can rejoin nose to tail. But that was Nolan Nuke getting aggressive there with Scott Andrews, realising his error and giving up the place immediately. Gentlemanly racing, certainly, but a very costly thing for them both, time-wise. Here it is again. Just taps the back. And it doesn't take much contact when you're on edge through turn 3 like that. And now Uke's gone for a half spin. His tyres are suffering now, and he's coming in. It's a sensible thing to do. Same for Scott Andrews, actually. They both should come in now. Pull those tyres down just a little bit. Take a moment before attacking the final 20 minutes of this race. Peter Hitzman in as well from GT4. So Kyle Shelton one step closer to the race lead again. So you'd imagine Andrews in the white Porsche there. Yeah, we'll go first, I was going to say. Just as quickly as I could say it, he was off. Actually a second quicker than Uke in the box that time. So that battle might have to be put on hold just for the moment because they're not together for once. That in the background is Jason McSparren, who's been running around having stopped for quite some time. He might be able to catch up to Nolan Nuke here and challenge him now. Andrew Cooper comes in, so this will be the cleansing of the field in GT4. Still waiting for stops in all of the categories, I think. He gets past a 992, which is very helpful. That's Louis Rios, who let him go there, despite the fact that Rios should be quicker than him, really, especially at that part of the racetrack. Not this point. Shelton gets through into the lead in GT4 indeed, so no damage done after the incident at Moss Corner. Although damage, of course, to Manning's race. Well, he's now 5 seconds behind Shelton. Expand the last one on the lead lap in GT3 because Mitchell Oppetic has yet to come into pit lane from the GT3 race lead. Thick traffic here. Andrew Cooper coming out the pit lane just in front of Peter Hitzman. That's what McSparren is passing here. It's cost him a bit of time, actually. Nolan Nuke not giving this one up just yet. He's not that far behind even now, Scott Andrews. This meantime is the race leader. Haven't seen too much of him yet because he's been so dominant, but Mitchell Oppetic is leading this race by some margin with about a quarter of an hour of it left. And remarkably still carrying on. It's not that remarkable, I suppose, just in a sense of field distance, but it is in terms of a strategy, a little unusual. What a great season debut. Hopefully be able to chat to him afterwards, post-race interviews, get his story, get his thoughts on a brilliant season debut while we've been here. Here is the battle for third, reignited. Nolan Nuke is here and Jason McSparren nowhere to be seen, so the Mustang not able to get to these guys, but the Porsche of Nolan Nuke back with Scott Andrews again. Now they're behind a BMW here that is trying to get past a couple of these guys. Don't know who it is, might be Casey Sobel. Anyway, it doesn't matter really. Nolan Nuke's heading to the inside and there's GT4 traffic here as well. All three classes on your screen at the same time, and it helps Nolan Nuke to get to that third place. Oh, he's waited a long time for that. He's finally got it done. He might well pass this 992 to really extend his advantage. Oh, he has a look down the inside of turn 3. He knew how important it would be, and he's been gifted it. But therefore, Andrews gets through as well. Therefore, the advantage is minimal. Sorry, it's not Casey Sobel just in front of them, because Sobel's around the other part of the racetrack pitting, so not sure who that BMW is. It's hanging around just in front of them. I really don't know. Might be, yeah, might be Castro actually. He's looking for the black nose, but yeah, there it is. So that'll be Castro. Just in front of Uke, and he's taking an almost defensive shape there towards turn 8. Oh, look at the speed though. And turn 8. And Probably sacrificing a bit of that for later in the section. Yeah, it is Castro. Didn't spot his dark-nosed BMW at first. Runs wide now, though. I get the feeling he's trying to sort of stay out of the way and carry on with his race at the same time, really, which is not really conducive to being predictable, which is the main thing that's told to lap cars. You don't have to jump out of the way at the first sight of a blue flag, but you do have to be predictable at least. Corner, Luke powering in the slipstream of that BMW. Now maybe is Castro going to give this one over? He's pulling off to the left hand side but not lifting off. Now he's pulling to the middle of the road. Back to the racing line again. Oh, and oh my goodness! Trouble! Not sure whether Castro was trying to brake early to let Luke through, but Luke wasn't expecting that at all, and he veers off under braking there, trying to avoid him, and that's cost him a podium place. That is a real shame. Now he's unsafely entered the pit lane as well, because his damage is very bad, so he's come to get that repaired. That's a real shame. Mentioned it a couple of moments ago, the one key big objective for a lap car is to stay predictable, and unfortunately that's what happens when you don't. This is how it happened from off-board. Trying to work out what Castro was thinking here. I think he was trying to let off to let Luke down the inside, but it's too late in the straight to be doing that. Need to make that clear from very early on, and as I mentioned, that none of that was really very clear at all. Well, Luke is going to spend some time down in the pit lane. As has Jason McSparrow now, actually, by the way. I'll tell you why, just for the moment. Here's Elias Roman, who briefly led when Mats Lundman came into the pit lane. Oh, McSparrow's got some damage there. Worth trying to investigate. Zachary Page also comes in as Nolan Luke leaves, and McSparrow leaves now as well. 1 and 2 minutes respectively. There goes Davenport on Luke, actually, just fresh out the pit lane, so 2 delayed drivers. A fair amount of those actually in GT3 today, but delayed drivers, Davenport and Luke now with a chance to fight for 7th. Fight for 3rd in GT4 continues as Andrew Cooper gets past Peter Hitzman again. The way they were at the beginning. And on pace the way you say they should be as well. Not being too harsh to Hitzman. Nine minutes remaining, not long now at all, and Jason McSparrow's in again. Dear oh dear. Don't tell me he's got more damage. Don't think so this time. Oh, it's a black flag this time. Not his day, Jason McSparrow, unfortunately. He is going to be 9th in GT3 and no higher than that, thankfully no lower either. This is his latest drama. Whoa, it's out of turn 2 and... Oh! That was unusual. Looked like he's, well, Looked like his wheel was jammed left there, but maybe not. Maybe it was just the angle we were looking, but yeah. That's how he got his latest damage anyway. And a shame, but let's say dropped to 9th in this field. Well, final 10 minutes, race winding down, but still a couple of battles to settle. Louis Rios, Chris Glandon, only just under a second apart. Whether Glandon can get a late pass in here before the finish. I don't think he's quick enough to, but has he got time on his side? Turn 2 again for those two. They get further apart. Uke gets closer to Richard Davenport. This is a pass Uke would expect to make before the finish. Oh, he's getting so close to the back of the Mercedes there. We're pushing him towards turn 8. And now Davenport goes wide through the final turn. That might provide Uke with the opportunity. Towards turn 1. Nope. I wonder whether the contacts he made earlier through turn 3 with Scott Andrews is playing on his mind a little bit. Some slight contact, but had he pushed on with that, would have been a penalty and might just have rattled his thought process a little bit. Oh, wide from Davenport. He is giving chances to Uke here, who gets to the outside for turn 4, right round the outside. That's very nicely done. As long as he gets its loading time, and he does for Moss Corner. And that was well done. Nolan Uke continues on his way, trying to get what he can from this race. 7th place will disappoint him, I suspect, a little bit, but looks like that's all he can get. Now, Chris Glandon is in front of Louis Rios, so he's managed to make that pass before the finish as well. 5 minutes to go. Oh, could argue 5 minutes to spare for that pass. So 4th place for Glandon, and that will be it for him. 10 seconds in front of him is Zachary Bache. So as I say, with 5 minutes to go, the battles mostly having settled themselves now. After this, we've got one more Operation Motorsport race here on Mosport TV in 2 weeks' time. Will be from Road America. Another 45-minute affair like this one. There will be, for the Operation Motorsport guys, 2 more endurance rounds after that as well. First the weekend of that race at Road America, and 3 weeks after that in May. As I say, still in June even, that final race. But so yeah, still plenty of racing to come. Andrew Cooper still holding on to 3rd. This is one of the closer fights, and that's contact. Peter Hitzman is going to say goodbye to chances of 3rd in GT4 now, as he makes 2 bits of contact with that Porsche. First on the way down the hill at turn 4, then on the way as it rejoined at turn 5. That was a comedy of errors that unfortunately has cost Hitzman even the outside chance of a podium. Now we'll be looking over his shoulder at Nicolas Batista, who closes to within 2 seconds on him. Here it is again. It's Casey Sobel who's trying to go around the outside here. And I don't think he really gives it. Well, I guess Casey might argue that Hitzman wasn't as far to the left as he was expecting. And then rejoining like that, that is on Sobel, I would say. Although things get weird when you all rejoin, obviously, anyway. So, yeah, not great, but there you go. I wonder if Ellis Roman's been off here as well. See the gap. So Smugman is going to nearly 30 seconds, and he has a spin out of turn 3. Trying to push on as hard as he can, but just going around. And in that incident, Casey Sobel has given up so much time to Damien Castro. We've got a race on between these two now. Oh, Sobel off. Brakes too late for Moss corner and wide. Castro can't take advantage. Luke has got 2 chances here, or 2 positions to make potentially. Castro dealt with straight away. And Luke might be able to still get a top 5 out of this. That would be extraordinary. Rather impressive, really. Oh, Sobel off. So's Castro. Oh, and on the other side, Luke's gone off. They're diverting every which way, these guys, at the moment. And Luke's in again. That'll be the end of his day. He's got more damage, unfortunately. And that is the end of that for Nolan Luke. That was just in front of Smugman, by the way, all of that. Sobel and Castro off to the left, and Luke off to the right. Castro gets past Sobel, meantime, by the way, as Luke comes into pit to surely retire. Castro is going to be in the top 5. How remarkable is that? So, here it is again. I mean, how these guys all manage this all at once is quite astounding, really. Luke just gets caught up on that inside curb, and the other two go off to spinning, well, not spinning, but running off wide to the left. Well, it's been quite a race. There's been something going on, something to watch all day. But in his season debut, Mitchell Oppertick hasn't really seen any of it. He has been dominating, really. Nearly 20 seconds in front of Jonathan Labby, who has driven well himself. Oppertick has had time to cruise here, had time to think about how he's going to celebrate this evening. Because he's known for some time that he's going to be an Operation Motorsport race winner at Mosport. Through the final turns, just in behind one of the 992s, which is not even going to bother lapping. He takes the checkered flag. Mitchell Oppertick wins at Canadian Time Motorsports Park in the Operation Motorsport eMotorsport iRacing League in a fantastic display of dominance. Season debut, but no problem at all. Oppertick takes the checkered flag first. Further behind, Carl Shelton is going to take the GT4 victory by about 8 seconds in front of Tyler Manning, and here he comes. This is a great performance from Shelton. Manning has been a tough customer this season, and yes, there was an incident to separate them. Shelton still drove very, very well. And don't forget, was caught in that incident himself, so indeed drove very, very well. Smugman crosses the line as the 992 winner. He was dominant in the LMP2s. He's showing similar form in the 992s now as well. Elias Roman trying to hold on for Zachary Page just at the very end of this race, as well as Batista, who's ahead of Hitzman right at the end. You might have just seen them flash through shot there. Batista gets to the line in front of Hitzman, And further behind, Roman is going to see off pace by just a couple of seconds in the end as well. Not by much, though. It is Mitchell Oppetic, though, who wins here from Mosport. He finishes 21 seconds in front of Jonathan Labby in the end, with Scott Andrews the best of the Pro Ben drivers overall tonight. Chad Sheffield was the best of the beneficiaries and finishes 4th. 1 lap down for Damien Castro, Casey Sobel, Richard Davenport. Nolan Nuke 2 down with Jason McSparron, who was bringing up the rear in GT3. In 992.2, it was Matt Smumman who won by nearly 30 seconds in the end in front of Elias Roman, who held off Zachary Page. Chris Glandon was the leader of 1 lap down, ahead of Louis Rios, Tanner Masters, Jacob Little and Justin Bessett. And GT4, 8 seconds the winning margin for Kyle Shoughton in front of Tyler Manning, with Andrew Cooper also on the podium. Nicholas Batista held off, and Peter Hitzman by a pretty small margin in the end. Well, we'll just hang on for just a few more moments before we sign off here, and hope that somebody comes to chat to us at the end of that race. As I say, what a busy race that was all throughout, really, for absolutely everybody. There were battles all throughout in all 3 categories. While the race wins were decided a little bit far from the finish, still entertaining fights throughout, absolutely no doubt about that. Let's have a chat, shall we, to Mitchell Oppetic, who has won this race here tonight overall and in GT3, of course, as well. Mitchell, welcome in. Good to have you with us, and congratulations on taking a race victory tonight overall and in GT3 as well. Just how was that to make your season debut as far as the sprints are concerned, and win in such dominant fashion tonight? How was that?
Yeah, it was fun. Opmo always puts on a great events, and I'm always happy to join their leagues whenever I can.
Well, it's the first time we've had you on the broadcast this season, of course. So tell us a little bit about your story with Opmo, how you found it, and how it is to race in this great league.
So I found it through a beneficiary named Nolan. He works on the race team that I work on as well, and we just bonded over sim racing. And he invited me over, and everyone's welcomed me with open arms.
One last one before we let you go. We're going to be seeing you at the finale in Road America in a couple of weeks' time for the last race.
Yeah, if the schedule allows, then yeah, I'll be there.
Excellent news. We'll see you there, Mitchell. Thanks for chatting to us, and congratulations tonight on the win.
Yep, thank you.
Thanks so much. That is Mitchell Oppetic, who wins here tonight from Mosport. We've got quite a few people to get through. Goodness me, they're all coming in now. So let's just do the class winners first. Matt Smumman was also one of those in 992 tonight. Matt, welcome in. Good to have you with us. A 992.2 class winner this time round. We've been used to speaking to you after the LMP2s. So first of all, let's chat about how this race was for you tonight. And in the end, a comfortable winning margin, but it's always busy, these races. How was that tonight?
That was really fun, actually, especially in the very beginning when Roman was he was really giving it to me, and it was a really, really good battle for those first few laps until he had that off on the last turn. So hats off to him. I think he actually, I don't know, I would have been really interested to see how that battle was going to turn out had that accident not happened.
Yeah, it was a great battle to watch. It really was, and. Well, as you say, not sure what would have happened if he hadn't got off, but it would have been very exciting to find out. How was the transition between LMP2 and 992? Because it's well, there are more different race cars out there in the world, of course, but you know, those are 2 pretty different ones. How was the transition between the 2?
Very different, and also a little bit surprising, because I found out this morning that was going to be happening. That was error on my part. I thought it was going to be LMP2 all the way until, and I'd been practicing on that, so I had to brush up on this, and this was technically my first race in a Porsche Cup car, but it's a fantastic car to drive. It's just a completely different sort of, like, you're just there. It's so much less aero, so much more technique, and I'd say the car is a little bit more forgiving at the limit, but that just makes it so much more fun to drive.
I'd imagine the LMP2 was pretty fun as well around here.
Oh yeah,
but
it's a rocket ship.
Yeah, I can imagine, but there we go. Great job in the 992 tonight, though, Matt. Congrats on the win, and thanks for chatting to us as always at the end.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much. That is Matt Smudman, who chats to us there at the end of tonight's race. Let's just clean up the other class winner first of all, Carl Shelton, who can now join us as well, hopefully. Yep, there we go. Carl, welcome in. Good to have you with us as well. Congratulations on a class win there by 8 seconds in the end in front of Tyler Manning. I guess the defining moment was the incident through Moss Corner, but there was some great fights before then. Just tell us a little bit about that race from your perspective.
Yeah, it was really unfortunate that he got spun by that faster car. I was having a lot of fun running with him, trying to hang with him. He got spun. It was unfortunate, but I ended up getting in the back of that same car that spun him, and I got damaged. Luckily, I was able to jump into the pits and kind of recover. I was just fortunate that I didn't actually spin in the same fashion that he did.
Yeah, indeed. And I presume the pit stop you made on the same lap was just to repair the damage. How bad was it?
I don't know how bad it was, but my thought was, if I've got damage, I'm already close to the pits. Hopefully I can jump in and get that repaired and just try to clutch to that lead for dear life. Because anytime you got Tyler Manning behind you, you got to be on your A game. You got to be quick.
Yeah, you absolutely made the right decision by the looks of it. And we're drawing, of course, to at the end of drawing to a close of this season. How's it been to be a part of season 12 with Operation Motorsport with just a few weeks to go?
It's awesome. This is my second season with the league. This is my first class victory with the league. I've really enjoyed being with the group. It's a great group for a great cause. It's been a frustrating season so far. I've had 3 races that with some technical difficulties that caused me either wreck or drop out, and but it feels good to finally get that win today.
Yeah, congratulations on that, and thanks for chatting to us at the end as well.
Thank you, sir. Have a good night.
All right, thanks very much. Carl Shelton there, the winner tonight in GT4 overall. Just a couple more drivers to have a chat with. Let's chat first of all to someone we don't chat with too often, actually, Damien Castro, who can now join us as well. Damien, welcome in. Good to have you with us. How was that race for you out there tonight in the GT3 category? We caught you late battle with Nolan Nuke out there and Casey Sobel as well, but how was the race for you generally?
Oh, the race was great. Track was quite a bit hotter than what we had practiced for during the week. So we definitely were feeling that effect on the track. I had a spin going in right into the first lap, the end of the first lap, and ended up having to fight my way back up through to 5th. So it was definitely a very interesting race. Hats off to the guys. I'm currently calculating points right now for the race, and it looks like Chance may have won the series already. So we will find that out here shortly.
Yeah, we'll do the maths on that overall.
Absolutely.
But tell us a little bit. We haven't been able to speak to you so often throughout the season. Tell us a little bit about how your season's been going and how you found the Operation Motorsport League this time around.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So the season's been going great. The guys are wonderful. They've been putting in a lot of effort. I came to Operation Motorsports. I looked at Operation Motorsports years ago, and then I actually ended up interviewing for the position. I am the eMotorsports program manager, so I'm in charge of the festivities here. So I ended up picking up the position here, and just absolutely fell in love with the team, with the people that are here, with the guys that I have on staff that are helping me out with setting up our seasons and the things that we have coming up. Our Sim Racing Expo that we're going to be out at. We have a booth out there, so if you're out there, come visit, come say hello. I'll be there. Richard Davenport will be there. There'll be quite a few. Johnny will be there. Dave will be there. Tiffany will be there. It'll be great. It'll be great to see everybody. We can't wait to see everybody out there. I've had a blast with it. I can't wait for season 13. I kind of went over where I found Operation Motorsport before. I really didn't go into what I do for Operation Motorsport. So most definitely, if you're a veteran and you're looking for a place to come race and have a good camaraderie, this is the place to be. Definitely come out. We'd love to have you.
Absolutely, and great news about the Sim Expo as well, by the way. Hope as many people can get down as possible and see you guys out there. But thanks for chatting to us, Damien, at the end tonight. Good to see you out there as always, and hopefully we'll catch you again before the season ends in a couple of weeks' time.
Absolutely, you sure will. Thank you, guys.
Thanks very much. That is Damien Castro, who joins us at the end tonight, chatting all things Operation Motorsport. We'll just bring in Chad Shefford and Jason McSparron, who's been waiting patiently for us. We'll just bring them in for a very brief chat before we end off tonight, starting with Chance. Welcome in. Good to have you with us as well. Heard there from Damien, who hasn't quite totted all the points yet, that you might be already the champion with a round to go. We'll park that for a second, but first of all, Chance, how was your race tonight?
It was tough. That track was very slick. Tires were pretty gone there at the end, and yeah, it was good and good battle with that P Cup. Like I've said week after week, it's fun battling with them guys too.
It did seem like you had a fair big advantage though around this particular racetrack, especially in certain areas. It was really surprising to me just the degree to which the higher speed corners were so much better for the GT3s. Did that surprise you in practice at all, or was this expected when the schedule came out?
After racing these with the other tracks, I expected it to be like that going in the corners. I know them first few laps going into turn 5 there, I got real close with some of them P cups in the back. I went off on the first lap or two and got shuffled in the back, and it was tough getting around them guys for sure.
Well, congrats on a decent race tonight, Chance, and we'll obviously keep an eye on those points to see if you've got there already. But thanks for chatting to us, and congrats on a good run tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Chance Sheffield there, just chatting to us before the end. And we will bring in Jason McSparron as well, who has been waiting the longest of everybody here tonight. Jason, welcome in. Thank you for your patience, by the way, while we've been getting everybody in. How was your race out there tonight? I know it wasn't your dream evening, perhaps, but you managed to get to the finish nevertheless. How was it?
It was I love this track. It's a fun track to run. Came out after my pit stop, was catching up, was in second in class or whatever, and came over the hill, and the back of the car just come out for me, and I had to tow, and that kind of set me back quite a ways, but just kind of powered through to the finish.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's all you can do. Was there anything that sort of surprised you about tonight in the way that it was, in terms of how difficult the racetrack was? In terms of the thing, because the thing that surprised me, the reason why I asked that, is because of the difference between the GT3 and 992 here, whereas previously they've been quite evenly matched and you've really had to fight with them quite a lot. Today it seemed like the GT3, certainly in certain areas of the racetrack, had a real big advantage. Did that take you by surprise a little bit, or was this all expected when you saw Mosport was coming up on the schedule?
I really wasn't sure what to expect. The cars were really close in areas. Down the straightaways, the Mustang is just a tank and the Porsches just outrun you. But you get into the twisty, turny areas and the bigger, heavier car just seems to handle that a little better, and you'd be able to pull away a little bit. And the track temp at 113 degrees at the end of the race, that made it very tricky to drive.
Well, good to see you out there again, Jason. Congrats on a good run tonight, and thanks for chatting to us at the end.
Thank you guys so much for broadcasting for us. I appreciate it.
Thanks very much. That's Jason McSpown joining us at the end tonight here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park in the Operation Motorsport eMotorsport iRacing League here for Season 12. As we've been discussing, one more round to go. Comes to you live from Road America here on May 12th. Make sure you join us again. Should be just after... I was going to say my time then. That's not much help, is it? Just after 6 p.m. Central, 7 Eastern, I believe. Is that right? Or is it 8 East? I don't know. Anyway, it's same time, same place anyway as you found us tonight. So make sure you join us back again in 14 days' time for that final round. A big thanks to everyone who's been tuned in tonight. Thanks to Ramiro, of course, behind the cameras here tonight. We'll all be back in 2 weeks' time for the latest round, the final round of the Operation Motorsport iRacing League. But for all of us here, for now, from Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, it's goodbye.